On the night of June 7, 2021, police received a 911 call from Alex Murdaugh after he reported finding his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul, shot at the family's rural property in South Carolina.
June 7th, 2021, 22 hours, 7 minutes, 9 seconds.
I'm still here, okay?
County Communications.
Congressman, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. How did they shoot? Did they shoot themselves?
Oh, no. Hell no.
Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennel.
Okay, and did you see anyone?
He shot in the head, and he shot really bad. He shot really bad.
Okay, where is he shot at?
Ma'am, I don't know, but there's blood everywhere. I can see his brain. Face down. I tried to turn her a little bit, but she's got a hole in her head.
Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No.
Is there any guns near them at all?
No, there's here.
What color is your house on the outside?
If that's what you're asking, they didn't shoot themselves, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you.
Oh, man. Oh, should have known.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to Maggie?
Hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours ago.
What? Okay, you said about 2 hours ago you talked to them?
Approximately, yes, ma'am, approximately.
Okay, did she say what they were doing at all?
No, I talked to her in person.
You talked to her in person?
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions, don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot in the head, but what about your son?
Nobody. They're not. Neither one of them moving.
What is your telephone number?
942-1227. I'm going back to my house just to get a gun just in case. I'm about 100 yards from my house.
And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really, no, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I know you're upset, Mr. Murdaugh, but I don't want you to get a gun and have a gun out whenever my officers get there, okay?
I will not do that. He's been being threatened by, my son had a boat wreck. He's been being threatened for months and months and months. He's been hit several times, and he should finally quit.
Do you know who was threatening your son?
It's too many people. Over the phone. 1 second.
And you don't know the name of who was threatening him at all?
My son knows. And my son knows.
Your son knows who was threatening him?
I have another son, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, I'm going back down there.
June 7th, 2021, 22 hours, 13 minutes, 58 seconds.
Cody K-E-E-N-Y, 121503.
Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been around with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you.
This is a cold-blooded murder.
Okay, can you do me a favor, Mr. Murdaugh, and turn on the flashers on your car so that way they can see where the kennels are?
21. Central phone now 618. You will need 615. That's the murder. Just 8250.
Do you have your flashers on for me, Mr. Murdaugh?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I've already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
Copy. Can you give me a few please?
Oh.
Okay, and did your son, I know you said that he had been threatened, did your son make reports of this at all?
Yes, ma'am.
He did? And what's your son's name?
Paul.
Paul?
Ma'am, I'm going to call, I need to call some of my family.
Okay. Well, do me a favor for me. Whenever you see the officer or the medics, because they're all coming to you, can you put your gun in your vehicle for me?
Absolutely.
Okay. But we have them come in, turn on the flashes on your vehicle so they can see you, okay? You got the flashers on for me?
I do.
Okay. All right. Just whenever you see them, put your gun up for me, okay?
Okay.
How old is your son?
22.
Okay. All right. We're getting them out there to you, okay?
And I will answer you first.
All right.
By the time this body cam footage begins, the property has already been secured by responding deputies. Alex Murdaugh has been escorted away from the immediate crime scene while officers and emergency medical personnel continue working near Maggie and Paul.
Sir, I want to let you know because of the scene, I did go get a gun and bring it down here.
It's in your vehicle? Do you have any guns on you at all?
No, sir. It's leaning up against the side of my car.
Okay. You're fine, man. You're fine. Turn around for me.
I don't have any.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see that. Okay. This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. Check the pulses.
Yes, sir. This is the firearm you brought from inside the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went and got. This is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck a few months back. He's been getting threats. Most of it's been benign stuff we didn't take serious.
Okay.
You know, he's been getting like punched. I know that's what it is.
Okay. When did you get home? Right when you called, or did you go to the house first? Where is the house?
I came to the house first. My mom has late stages Alzheimer's, and my dad is in the hospital.
Okay.
I left. I don't know what time. I can go back on my phone and tell you the exact times. Did you check?
Okay. Did I check what?
Did you check them?
We got medical guys that are that's what they're gonna do. Okay.
What are they doing? Can they hurry?
They are. Yes, sir. That gentleman that was out here already, he's one of the battalion chiefs. Okay. How did you pull up? You from back there?
I went to the house and they weren't home, which was odd. I tried to call.
Okay.
And then I knew they had been down here before I left to go to my mom's.
Okay.
And so that is loaded.
Okay.
You might want to unload it. But I mean,
is this the only firearm with you? This is the only one, or is there any more in the truck?
I believe that's it.
You think that's the only one? Okay.
I'm 99%.
Do you normally
certain that's
have
right.
any other firearms in your vehicle?
I don't, but
Okay.
occasionally there's a pistol in there.
Okay. Just wait right here for me.
You can check them. They're dead, aren't they? They are dead, aren't they?
Just turn all those
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Randy. I can call it dead. Where are you now? All right. Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
Affirmative.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them, or talked to them, or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
Okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Somebody going to check them?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check them?
Yes, sir.
This is official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. Just,
I'm very sorry. Gotta call her parents.
what's her name?
Her name is Maggie Murdaugh. Margaret Brandstetter Murdaugh. How you doing?
What's her birthday?
9/15/68.
Okay. And what's your son's first name? You said Paul?
Paul Terry Murdaugh.
And what's his birthday?
Jason, do you have anybody
4.
coming through town that could stop and pick up that tent? I see lighting off in the distance.
What, are they covering them up?
I got some getting dressed now, Sheriff. I'll have somebody stop and grab it.
Tell them they don't have to do that. They don't need to. Preserve what we can. I see quite a few tire tracks in here. Were any of these you going in and out?
No, I came in here and I left one time and I came back.
Okay.
But the rest of them, maybe
Okay.
from earlier, but
Okay.
only 2 are mine.
Did you go out this way at all?
No.
Well, that's right.
Hey, stay here. Got a whole bunch of stuff right there. I don't want disturbed.
No, that's why I'm trying to close the door here so we can kind of get around that way.
Later that evening, investigators with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, better known as SLED, conducted their first recorded interview with Alex Murdaugh inside a police cruiser. During the interview, Alex describes what he says he found when he arrived at the family's dog kennels. Some of the details discussed are graphic and may be distressing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
As I stated, I'm David Owen in Lower Rutland with Colleton County, and I'm with SLED. I hate to have to do this.
I understand.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So you don't have any problem
Yeah.
with it.
So, just start at the top, take your time.
Like when I came back here, I mean, I pulled up and I could see them, and I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was. And I could see his brain on his. And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, I called 911 pretty much right away, and she was very good. I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that.
What family members did you call?
I called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John. And I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
Okay. What all was around Paul when you walked up?
Blood.
Anything else?
I mean, there were some body things, yes, sir.
I mean, like any other evidence? I know you said the phone fell out the pocket, but did you see anything else that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not the, no, sir.
How about Maggie?
No, sir.
You didn't see anything around them? What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response. When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there, so I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was gonna be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was refiguring to plant the sunflower seeds.
Okay.
So I came back up here and I drove up and saw and called.
Had Maggie and Paul been arguing over anything?
No.
What was their relationship like?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about yours and Maggie's?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm sure we had little things here and there, but we had a wonderful marriage, wonderful relationship.
And yours and Paul's relationship?
As good as it could be.
How old is Paul?
22.
Okay. And how about, what's Maggie's full name?
Margaret Brandstetter Murdaugh.
Have y'all been having any problems out here? Trespassers?
None
people breaking in?
None that I know of. The only thing what comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago, and there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot. So, but I mean, nothing like this.
Yeah. Any one person in particular or group of people?
I don't know.
That you could think of?
Not that I know, no, sir.
Has he, other than being assaulted, has he received any direct threats related to the boat accident?
Oh, yes. All the time he gets
recently?
Yes, sir. I mean, he gets them all the time.
Okay.
He gets them all the time.
What kind of, I'm
gonna kick your ass, I've never been privy firsthand,
Is that through social media or?
No, ma'am. It's mostly like if he goes out places is what he goes out like somewhere. He's in college, so if he goes out is what I understand. And I can find out better details from some of his younger friends on that.
This initial interview provides investigators with Alex Murdaugh's first account of what he says happened that night. Beyond that, there is little additional information revealed during this conversation. 3 days later, SLED investigators returned to conduct a second interview with Alex. Much of the early discussion focuses on the firearms kept on the property where they were stored, and a shotgun that Paul had reportedly lost a year or two earlier. During the interview, Alex makes a statement that has been widely debated. Some people believe he can be heard saying, "I did him so bad," while others interpret the words differently. We've slowed this section down so you can listen carefully and decide for yourself. We've also shortened this interview to include the portions most relevant to the investigation.
That's all right. One thing I want to do before we start is I'd like to get a cell phone exam so we can just corroborate everything. Let me get a consent, and I got a guy here that's going to do it.
Are you going to download it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
So I'll get to keep my phone?
Yes, sir.
Good.
How much attorney-client privilege stuff is on there?
A lot.
Okay. We do have a taint attorney that's going to examine it before we ever do.
What is a tank attorney?
A taint attorney, they look at somebody who's not affiliated with the case that makes sure that there's... Jim, do you know?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
you explain it better?
Sure. And I mean, it's a privileged attorney that doesn't, if there is attorney-client privilege information, it's redacted or extracted by the taint attorney.
How do they know who's a client?
I know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
You know what?
But
if y'all get some
but
attorney-client
whoever
stuff.
that is, you know, would go through me. And
So,
we'd work
signature.
Just write your name here. All right, sir. So he's got it, and he's taking care of that.
But I get it back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir. So when we spoke the other night, I got kind of a basic overview.
Yes, sir.
And it was pretty traumatic.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I know
so,
you
yeah.
need to ask me. You ask me what you need to.
So I want you to, let's start Monday morning and take me through your day.
Monday morning, you know, did I do Monday morning? My wife and my older son had gone to the baseball games that weekend. You know, I really can't remember what I did Monday. I know I went to work, but you know, I think I was dragging a little bit from the weekend, but I went to work. I usually mess around on my farm, and then I go to work. I was at work. You know.
Were you at the office in Hampton, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I was at my office in Hampton. You know, I mean, I was just at my office doing
legal work.
Yes, sir. I'm sure I can go back and probably recreate some specifics if you need me to, but I can't like sit here and recall on the top of my head exactly what I was working on. I know one thing I was working on was we had some big motions coming up in a Dominion Energy case. I was getting ready for those. And I was getting ready for some motions. I'm a defendant in a civil case involving my son. I told you about the boat wreck.
Yes, sir.
And there were some motions coming up in that on Thursday, and I was mostly just getting ready for those things, and then other junk.
What time did you leave the house to go to the office?
I'm not sure.
Who all was at the house when you left?
To go to my office that morning?
Or when you got up, who was at the house?
I'm sure my wife was. And I can't remember if Blanca had made it out there yet or not.
And who was Blanca?
Blanca is our housekeeper.
Okay. Okay.
And she comes different. She doesn't have set hours, but she comes most days. She'll be able to tell you if I was there when she left or not. Okay. I can't remember.
And so you went to the office. You did, some motions. What time did you leave the office?
I left a little bit earlier than normal because my son Paul was coming home.
Okay.
Because he had not been with us during the weekend, and he was coming home. We were going to replant some sunflowers the next day. Okay. And so he was calibrating, doing and getting everything ready. So he got home a little early. I left a little early, so he and I could knock around, and we knocked around for, just doing things we like to do out there. Okay. We're riding around looking at food plots, looking for hogs, a little bit of target shooting, just bullshit.
Yeah. You said Paul wasn't with you over the weekend. Where does he live with you at the house on Moselle?
Well, I mean, that's his home, but he has an apartment in Columbia.
Okay.
And he goes to Charleston a lot of weekends with his buddies.
Okay.
And he had been in Charleston for the weekend.
Okay.
And then Paul works for my brother John. This out here, you met John.
Yes, sir.
So Paul works for him So Paul decided to he went to spend the night with my brother, his Uncle John. They were very, very close.
Okay.
Sunday night.
Okay.
And then he worked for John Marvin, and he came home Monday afternoon.
Okay. About roughly what time in the afternoon?
You know, I would think it'd be somewhere in the 5 o'clock range, a little bit. It was broad daylight when we were, it wasn't dusk, dark, or late.
Okay.
You know, and we rode, you know, we just rode around. We rode around our dove field looking at how the corn was doing. He and I had planted corn in the dove field, and he planted the corn in the duck pond, and he was, you know, showing me how much better his corn was doing than mine was. And we rode around the duck pond. I mean, we just, you know, we rode the property.
Yes, sir.
You know, we rode the property. Then, you know, I mean, we rode around so much. We just rode.
Okay.
Probably. It was a good little while. It was more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And, you know, was it 2 hours? I don't know. I'd say it was more than an hour probably.
Really wasn't keeping track of time?
And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't getting dark. Mama wasn't home yet. She had gone to a doctor's appointment. So, you know.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, target practice, what y'all shooting?
Just a little bottle. You mean what gun?
Yeah.
A 22 Magnum.
Rat shot?
I think. No, it wasn't rat shot. I think he shot 2 times and I shot 1 time.
Okay. So after y'all got finished riding around, try to take me through the rest of the evening.
All right. You know, at some point we were all back at the house together. Maggie had gotten home, and you know, we sat down, we ate supper, which we usually eat supper together. The one thing I remember, I don't know how much detail y'all want, so if I start talking about something that you don't need, just tell me and I'll move to something else.
The more detail, the better, sir.
So Paul has been having high blood pressure, and his mama was worried sick about it. So we were actually, you know, this was a direct thing, getting him, he doesn't like to go to doctors, making him go get his blood pressure checked. His feet had swollen up recently.
Wow.
So, you know, it was a big, huge deal.
Okay.
You know, we hung around the house for a little while. I know that Maggie went to the kennels. I don't know exactly where Paul went, but he left the house too.
Okay. How did Maggie get down to the kennels?
I don't know exactly, but on normal occasions she would drive a buggy, drive a 4-wheeler, or very common for her to walk.
Okay. How about Paul?
Paul wasn't much of a walker, but he would use all of the others.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be anyway. Okay. You know, I don't know exactly. I wish I could help you with that.
So they left and went down to the kennels.
Well, Maggie went to go to the kennels.
Okay. Paul left.
And I'm assuming, you know, Paul left.
Okay.
Because of, you know,
gotcha.
What happened. I mean, I'm assuming Paul went to the kennels.
Okay. And what did you do once Maggie and Paul left?
I stayed in the house.
Okay.
And I was watching TV, looking at my phone, and I actually fell asleep on the couch.
Okay. And what time did you?
You know, I don't know
wake up?
Exactly what time I woke up, but when y'all get my phone, you know, I think one of the first things I did when I got up was call Maggie, because I was going to my mom's. And I know I texted her because I checked my phone. And what time did we say the text was, Jim? Like 9:06.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I got it written down from the other night.
I showed you the other night, didn't I?
Yes, sir. I got this.
So, you know, I texted her. So I called her just before that. And, I mean, she didn't answer at that point. And I left to go to My mom's.
Okay.
Y'all will just have to look. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I called Paul.
Well,
or not.
and that's why we're getting the phone, so we can nail down the times and everything.
So I left. I drove. Well, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all this, even though I think it's kind of crazy. You know, I was certain that I heard them pull up. I mean, I was positive that I heard, and people don't just come out there. You know, we don't get like passed through. I was certain that I heard them pull up, but they didn't.
Okay. Well, if you heard something pull up, what did it sound like?
You know, I can't tell you what it sounded like. I just know that I thought that my wife had pulled up, or that Paul had pulled up.
Would it have been the buggy that she normally drives, or would it be a car?
No. I had the impression that a car pulled up.
Okay.
You know. And
had you woken up by that time, but hadn't left for your mom's?
Yep.
Okay.
But it wasn't much time in between there because I left pretty damn close. It wasn't much time between me waking up and me leaving the house.
Okay.
And when I went outside, you know, there's a wild cat that lives around that house. Okay. I'm pretty sure it was the cat that ran from my car, but you know, I never had the impression it was a person, but there was something.
Okay.
You know, but I really don't think, you know, I'm just throwing that out there because it was in my mind.
Yeah, nope, that's fine. That's totally fine.
I left. I drove to my mom's. I checked on my mom.
She lives right out here, correct?
She lives at Alameda. Okay. Checked on my mom. Talked with Shelly for a few minutes. You know.
Shelly is?
The caregiver.
Okay.
And, you know, I know that I called some people on the way there. I know I returned a call from my brother John. I know that I called Chris Wilson. I know that I talked to Buster. So I made a few phone calls.
Okay.
And
where was Buster?
Buster was in Rock Hill.
Okay. Is that where he lives, or?
No, he lives in Columbia, but he just started a new job. He's going back to law school in January.
Okay.
So he's working a little part-time job with Wild Wings.
Okay.
Through January.
Gotcha.
You know, just kind of killing time. And he was in, his girlfriend lives in Rock Hill. She's studying for the bar exam, so he had to be in Charlotte, so he was staying with her in Rock Hill, her and her mom.
Okay.
Can I open this door?
Yes, sir. All
right, so where are we? All right, so then I
left your mom's and making phone calls.
I left my mom's and I went back home. I got to the house. I went inside. Nobody was there. I got in the car. I went back to the kennels and, you know.
And when you went back to the kennels, besides Maggie and Paul, did you see anybody, any cars?
I didn't see anything right then, no, sir.
Take your time.
You know, I saw Maggie and I saw Paul laying down. I knew, you know, I didn't know, you know, I knew it was bad. I went over there and, you know, I saw it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I called 911.
Okay. And what made you decide to go back to the house and get a gun?
I just think the whole scene had me freaked out.
Okay. Did you take your car back up there, or did you run up there?
No, I drove.
Okay. And of course, the shotgun that we have is the one you brought back.
They were asking me earlier. I'm not sure which one it was.
Jim, it was a 12 gauge. I know. Yeah, Ronnie had a question if it was 12 or 20. It was a 12 gauge.
And it was that camo, though, right?
Yes, sir. I think it was the 12 camo Benelli.
Benelli. I think so. But that's about all you got, Benelli, out there, right?
And we talked about this a little bit the other night too. I know Paul had been getting some threats and getting some being assaulted from, you know, the boat. Who stands out in your mind, besides the boat incident? Who stands out in your mind that would want to come after Paul and or Maggie?
I mean, sir, I can't think of anybody who would want to go to that extreme. You know, I mean, he got a bunch of threats, it's mostly from, you know, I mean, I have no idea.
How would he receive most of those threats?
What do you mean?
I mean, would people call and hang up on him, or send him text, or
it wasn't
social
so much
media?
That no, it was mostly like in-person confrontations, are the ones that I learned about. Now, I suspect his friends can probably tell you about more, because I doubt Paul told me about all of them.
Okay.
But I knew about a lot of them. You know, there were a lot of times where people would come up to him and he'd be like, they'd say something about, you know, you gonna tell me who was driving that boat, or you little piece of shit, were you driving that boat? You know, stuff like that.
Okay. Who did he go to Charleston with on the boat that weekend?
I don't know exactly. I know that, I mean, I know who his buddies are, but specifically who was on the boat with him, I'm not sure.
Okay.
You know, but I can give you a list of names of who it probably was.
So, Joe, I don't know if you want me to weigh in here. You may want to put your pens down, but a good buddy of mine's son went fishing with me yesterday out in the ocean, and he has a best friend, and his dad's name is Lee Chapman, but
yeah,
the kid said, Lee's son said, that Paul slept on his couch in Charleston 2 nights before he was murdered. And so it's Lee Chapman's son. I can get his name. You probably know Lee's son. I don't, but he goes to the Citadel. But that's where Paul was.
Okay.
And I learned that yesterday out on a fishing trip, which is about half the standard.
Cool. I mean, yes, sir. If you could get me Lee Chapman's son's contact information.
There was a bunch of Chapman cousins that Paul was very close with. The closest one being Wills Chapman and Frank Chapman.
Wills Chapman's his name, but I'll get your number for you.
Frank is John Chapman's son, and Wills is Lee Chapman's son.
Yeah. Okay. That's where he was.
And those boys are, you know, they're just really good boys and friends of Paul's.
And one of them is Wills with an S, right?
That's right.
And Wills goes to the Citadel, that you understand?
No, he's graduated from the Citadel.
Graduated from
okay. And Frank was in the Citadel, but I think he had some kind of, you know, academic troubles.
How is your relationship with Maggie?
Very good. As good as it could possibly be. I mean, you know, we had our issues, but wonderful.
And I'm just trying to understand the family dynamic.
I understand you got to do what you got to do, I promise.
What was y'all's biggest arguments? What your biggest the things that y'all would argue about the most, what would they be over?
I mean, we really didn't argue, but the basic, I'd say the only thing that caused any friction between us is that she was always wanting us to go, and I love her in-laws. I mean, they're wonderful people. I love them to death. She was always wanting to go there, stay there a little longer than me and the boys wanted to stay. That was really, and it really, you know, she'd get ticked off.
Yeah.
You mean her family? You said her in-laws. You mean her family?
I mean her family.
Your in-laws,
I mean, we really didn't argue about much. We didn't have much to argue about. I mean, I'm sure there was an occasional thing that came up that we argued about, but I can't tell you what it is. I can't think of it.
Okay. Take your time. Go. Just tissues.
I'm sorry.
You good?
I mean, she was a wonderful girl and a wonderful wife. And she was a great mother. She, you know, she didn't work. And she always said it was her job since she was privileged enough not to work. She was going to make sure she took care of me and the boys. And I mean, she did everything. She did absolutely everything. I'm sorry.
No, you have every right to do that. When you tried to turn Paul over, do you know if you tried to turn him like towards the kennels or away from the kennels and his phone fell out?
Away. I think I turned him away.
Okay. Was he left-handed or right-handed?
He was right-handed.
Where did he normally keep his phone?
I mean, usually in his hand. But, I mean, it was, you know, it was always on him. Pocket, hand, truck.
Where did Maggie carry her phone? Anywhere she could?
Yes, sir. Did y'all get fingerprints on her phone?
I haven't gotten that back yet.
When Paul's phone came out, did you just pick it up and put it on, you know, place it back down on him, or?
You know, yeah, I did not try to open it or anything. You know, I don't know how I had in my mind that I needed to not mess anything up. I had that, you know, somehow I had that presence of mind that I needed to not mess anything up. And so I tried not to.
And you definitely saw a traumatic picture, and I know it's not hard, or not easy. I know it's hard. And sitting here talking today is tough.
It's just so bad. They did it so bad. They did it so bad.
Following the June 10th interview, SLED investigators continued building the case behind the scenes. Over the next 2 months, they processed the crime scene, examined ballistic evidence, analyzed cell phone records, reviewed surveillance footage, and interviewed family members, friends, and potential witnesses. Investigators also worked to establish a detailed timeline of the events leading up to the murders, comparing Alex Murdaugh's statements with the growing body of evidence. As more information was uncovered, investigators began to identify inconsistencies that required further explanation. On August 11, 2021, SLED investigators brought Alex Murdaugh in for a third formal interview. By this stage, they had gathered significantly more evidence and were prepared to question him in much greater detail about the events of June 7th.
I know we've got a lot to talk about. You have millions of questions. But before we get started with your questions, this has been going on for over 2 months. And we've done a lot of work.
I know you have.
And I've got some more questions that I need to get clarifications on.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll start with that.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought we were coming here so you can update him on what's going on.
And I intend to do that as
Okay,
we
let's
go.
do that first.
Okay.
All right, let's do that first.
The update is I'm doing the investigation, and I have some questions that I would like some answers to. And I mean, certainly, if you know, I ask the question, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to answer it.
No, I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's more clarifications of the 2 interviews you've already given me.
Totally understand.
Okay.
Just wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. All right. I need for you to tell me, are you going to give us information, or are we just here for you to ask questions?
I'm going to give you some information.
All right. Why can't you give us information first?
Some of the information that you're asking about are in my questions. And as we go through, you'll see.
Okay.
I don't mind. I know you don't,
but I can't. I mean, I'm a friend, but I'm also a lawyer, and I like to know what we're doing. I like to understand what we're talking about. You know, I need you to answer this question. Are you asking him questions to further your investigation, or are you asking him questions because you think that he's a suspect? I need a straight answer.
I am asking these questions to further my investigation.
All right. Does that mean that you're not asking him these questions as a suspect? Because I'm not comfortable with you asking him questions as a suspect when I came here with the thought that you were going to be telling him where you are in the investigation, what it is you've done, seen, uncovered, whatever. That's why we came here.
Well, let me respond to your question. Yeah. It may not be a direct answer that you're looking for, and I've told Alec this when we first met. So I want to go back to Monday morning, and you went to the office.
Okay.
What time did you go to the office? Who was at your house when you left, and what time did you go to the office?
We had been to a ball game that weekend. I don't remember exactly what time. It would have been somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30, probably. Okay. 10 o'clock maybe at the latest. Okay. Something like that.
And when I ask about time, I'm not saying it was 5:11 or something like that. I just
totally understand.
I need ballpark.
That's
as close as you can get to it.
And if you need to know exactly when, there would be a keypad that will tell when exactly I went in my office.
Okay.
That I can get for you.
Okay.
So
you have a key fob to get in your office?
A card.
A card.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Gotcha. You know, a little bit. You know, it's probably a little bit on the later side of that. I guess I know Maggie got up early to get out of there because she had an appointment in Charleston. I just don't remember if I left right after she did or I piddled around.
Okay. And I already know that Paul stayed at John Marvin's that night, so it was just you and Maggie at the house.
That's correct.
Okay. And I know when you were at the office, you were working on motions, and some of those motions you dealt with were for Paul's, the boat accident, or the boat case.
I'm not really doing the legal work.
I understand, but you know, you're Paul's dad, you're a lawyer, you're definitely going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, so what were those motions? I mean, did it deal with Parker's, or was it the actual boat accident, or?
It was the civil case.
Okay. What time did you leave and get home?
Earlier than normal. I'd say 5:30.
That's when you left the office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time did Paul get home that night?
Me and Paul got there about the same time. Maybe he was a little bit later than me, or maybe a little bit earlier than me, but it was close to the same time.
Okay. And y'all rode around the farm. I believe you said 2 different trucks, or 2 different vehicles.
Yes, sir.
What were those 2 different vehicles?
We rode in the white pickup truck, and we rode in the black pickup truck.
In either one of those, did you see any long guns? And take your time.
It's okay.
Did you see any rifles or shotguns?
I don't remember seeing any that day, no. We did have pistols.
Yeah, because I know you said you went target practicing.
Well, not really target practicing, just shoot.
Yeah.
We rode around for a couple hours, just looked at everything. All the stuff Paul did on the farm, and we just spent, time together. We started out going to look at the sunflowers because he was worried about the sunflowers. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing we looked at, and then we just rode. We just rode and looked at. I mean, we hadn't done it in a while, but we just rode, talked, and rode, talked.
What you talk about?
Everything, just one of the main things, he'd been having trouble, his feet had swelled up, and we were worried about blood pressure and stress on him, and I mean, he handled all this stuff so amazingly, but I mean, we were just so worried about it. But I mean, we talked about that, we talked about the farm, we just talked about everything.
Has Paul been seeing a doctor for his feet?
No, sir.
So y'all trying to get him to go?
Trying to get him to go.
And he was resistant?
Yeah, he had been resistant, but much less so after his feet swelled up. I mean, he'd been having all kind of little problems, but much less after his feet swelled up.
As parents, I'm sure you and Maggie stayed on him about going. How did he respond to you?
To going out?
No, going to the doctor.
He did.
When y'all talked about it.
He's very resistant. Very, very resistant. I mean, we talked to him about seeing a doctor, about the stresses of everything with the boat wreck. He didn't think he needed to do that. I mean, we tried to watch him really closely. But he was resistant.
What time did Maggie get back home that night?
Later. I'd say probably, best I can tell, a couple hours after we got there.
When you and Paul returned back to the house, was Maggie there?
I can't remember if Maggie came by the shed when Paul and I were up there, or if we met her at the house. But, it's not unusual for her, if we're messing around, for her to swing through up there.
Mm-hmm.
But Maggie wasn't supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad. Mm-hmm. And so she came home.
Where was she going to stay that night?
At Edison. We were having work done down there. And I wasn't 100%, but it's pretty well she was going to stay at Edison.
So kind of surprised you that she came back?
That didn't totally surprise me. She'd let me know earlier that she was coming home, but then I found out later why she came home.
She was concerned for you.
Sir.
What time did y'all sit down and eat dinner?
Not too long after that. Blanc had made dinner. And so the three of us ate dinner together.
What was the conversation around the dinner table?
Normal. Regular stuff. I mean, I can't tell you exactly, but...
How was Maggie's appointment in Charleston that day?
I think it had gone good. We didn't really get the chance to talk about it in detail. She's been having a couple little medical issues. I can't even remember which one. It wasn't anything huge. I can't remember exactly which one she went for.
And after dinner, Maggie and Paul went to the kennels, or?
And you know, I don't know exactly how that went. I stayed on the couch and I dozed off. And then I got up.
Did you watch TV that night?
I know the TV was, I believe the TV was on. But I wasn't.
I guess there was a tree sapling or something that had fallen over or bending over, and you were trying to get it to stand up. But I mean, the question in that is, when I met you that night, you were in shorts and a t-shirt. At what point in that evening did you change clothes?
I'm not sure. It would have been...
Before dinner or after dinner?
No, it would have been... What time of day was that? I would have thought I had already changed.
There's not a time.
Is he asking you now what time that picture was?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I was tapped on it because there's so many posts, but I want to say it looks to be about dusk. So that would have been 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I guess I changed when I got back to the house.
Earlier when we spoke, and you talked about waking up from your nap and going to check on your mother, and you tried to call Maggie and you tried to call Paul, and then you sent Maggie a text that you were going to check on your mother. You also told me that Maggie didn't normally go with you to check on your mother, but that she might ride that night. Did you go by and check on her?
Go by and check on my mom?
Maggie, before you left to go?
No, I didn't.
With her not responding to you and thinking that she might ride with you, why didn't you?
I don't remember having plans that Maggie was going to ride with me. But maybe she had told me that she was that night. I don't recall that. I don't remember that specifically, but it wasn't, she didn't normally go with me. It's not like we had plans that she was going to ride with me, or that she was going.
How long would you say you were at your mom's that night?
45 minutes, an hour.
When you got back to Moselle, which driveway did you enter?
I went into brick gates.
And Maggie and Paul weren't there. Were there vehicles at the house?
Yes, sir.
How did they get down there that night?
I was hoping you were going to be able to tell me that.
The only thing that I can come up with is that black truck. Is that Buster's old black truck?
Yes, sir.
Does it normally stay down at the farm, or does it stay at the house?
Both. Both.
Did Maggie ever walk down there?
Maggie walked down there a lot. But Paul, I mean, if you showed me some proof that Paul walked down there that night, I would be surprised. Absolutely surprised.
Well, thinking about Paul's health concerns, do you think Maggie could have gotten him to walk that night? Say, come on, let's walk with me this one time.
You know, it's possible, but again, that would be highly, highly unusual. He would have talked her into riding. It'd been highly unusual for him to walk.
So when you were at the kennels, you were just down there with Paul, and you left and went back to the house for dinner.
You know, I mean, Paul and I were just knocking around up at the shop, the shed, the kennels, and just the whole property. And that was before dinner, yes, sir.
And you didn't go back down there after dinner until you returned trip from visiting your mother. Was it you?
At 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Not if my times are right.
Who do you think it could have been?
I have no idea.
And Rogan's been around your family for pretty much all his life.
Oh, absolutely.
And he recognizes your voice, and you have a distinct voice. Do you think of anybody else that has a voice similar to yours that he may have misinterpreted?
No, sir.
Kennels, when you returned home from your mom's, where were the dogs?
They were like they were when I didn't put dogs up.
Okay.
So
they weren't running loose?
However they were.
Okay. At one point in the 911 call, you say here, like you're talking to somebody else or something else.
I say here?
Here, yes, sir. So the dispatcher is asking you if they're breathing, and you said no. And she asked did you see anyone else in the area, and you said no. And she asked about guns near them, and you said no. And then you kind of stutter and start moving around, and you said here.
I don't have any memory of saying that. I guess I'd have to listen to it but I don't recall a dog being out. I'm certain that there was not a dog out. I mean, there's other things people have told me about that 911 call that I don't remember. I don't know here. Like I was calling a dog.
Calling a dog, talking to somebody else. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir. And I mean, that obviously was nobody else out there.
Okay.
And I'm certain that there was not a dog loose. But I don't remember saying anything about Buster would know. Something about threats. I was asked about that later. if I had information about, or that Buster had information about threats that I had said, he would know.
Have you learned anything new about any threats against Paul or your family?
Nothing really new, no sir. Outside of things that Randy's told you, or you know, there was just so many things on the internet that, you know, but nothing new, no sir.
So during the 911 call, and we also talked about that that night, you returned back to the house to get a shotgun.
Yes sir.
What door did you enter?
The best that I can remember, I went in the side door, and I went straight to the gun cabinet.
Were you focused on any particular shotgun, or you just grabbed one?
I just grabbed one.
How do you normally load your shotguns? Avid hunters load shotguns special ways, different types of munitions, and I'm just asking you how you load yours.
I mean, I normally put it in the chamber and push the button.
What type of shot do you load?
All kinds. I mean, I've loaded bird shot, buck shot, slugs, skeet shot.
At the same time? I mean, would you load like a bird shot and a buck shot in the same load?
Not normally. I mean, normally you're putting in, you know, a load for whatever you're hunting.
Mm-hmm. The reason I'm asking about that, the shot shells that we recovered that night, one was a turkey load, one was a buckshot.
I understood that.
The shotgun that you had with you that night, there was a bird shot and a buckshot. When Jeff went back the next day, I'm not sure which attorney it was, pointed out that there had been a shotgun laying on the pool table that he had put away, and pointed out the ammunition that was with that, and it was a buckshot and a bird shot. And then the shotgun that we took for potential comparison, it was also loaded with a bird shot and a buckshot. So I have all of these consistent loads along with what's that in the feed room. I call it the feed room at the kennels. Is that what you call it?
That's
okay.
Good enough.
Okay. If I say feed room, I just want you to know what I'm talking about.
The night I grabbed the shells that I could get my hands on, I don't, you know, I had no idea exactly what I had.
Okay. Also, when we talked, I asked you if it was normal to keep guns down at the kennels, and you said you would have to check. Have you been able to check to see what was missing from your collection?
I have. Yes, I know what's missing from what I believe is missing from our guns.
Okay, and what are those?
There's 3 guns that I think are missing.
Okay. And what kind of guns are those?
It would be a Benelli shotgun, a Browning shotgun, and a pump shotgun.
The Benelli and the Browning, are they pump or autos?
The Benelli and the Browning are automatic.
And the pump shotgun, what brand is that?
I believe it's a Remington, but I'm not positive.
Are they like standard brown and black, all black, or camo?
The Benelli is black. The Browning is camo, and the pump is camo.
Would you have those serial numbers recorded anywhere?
I don't have them recorded, but I'm sure. I don't know where the pump shotgun exactly came from, but I should be able to have the Benelli and the Browning.
Okay.
You know, I understand also that a 300 was used that night, and I know there's been some, I understand John Bedingfield said he only had 2 of those, one of which was lost 3 a long time ago, but I'm telling you, now I am certain that we replaced that gun. All right?
Actually, John knows that he sold Maggie a 3rd gun.
Okay. Okay.
And the story was that she was supposed to let you know that she paid for it for you to go sign the paperwork. And that never occurred.
Okay. So that's why there wasn't a number?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, he has the number. He just doesn't have a final sale on the ATF paperwork.
Okay. That was replacing the one that Paul
lost, yes.
That's correct.
And both of those 300s, those serial numbers are with the ATF and flagged in the system. So when they pop up, it'll get me to those.
Okay.
And that's, you know, we've talked about the shot shells and at the shooting range.
Okay.
And the ones by the house and some of the ones found at the shoot range are confirmed matches to the ones found by Maggie.
Okay.
So, which gets another concern. I've got the same load as the shot shells in multiple guns and 300 blackout that match ones found on your property.
So you now believe that those guns, that Paul's guns were used?
Yes.
Okay.
Nolan recalls Paul's first 300 going missing around Halloween at a party at Hampton.
Halloween of 2020?
When did y'all?
No, that because that
no, it was
years.
Yeah, it was whatever Christmas he got it. So it was 17. Christmas is 17. So it was the Halloween after, and 18 is when Nolan believes it was taken out of Paul's truck. There was and it would take me a while to find those notes, but Mark Williams or Matt Williams is a family friend, and I may have the name wrong, but there was hundreds of people at this Halloween party. Nolan says adults were there, kids were there, and Nolan knows that the gun was in Paul's truck when they got to the party, and when they went to leave the party, it was gone. Another part in the 911 call, you made the comment, "I should have known." And the questioning that surrounded, the dispatcher's asking, "Is anybody else supposed to be at the house?" And you said, "No, ma'am, please hurry." And she says, "We're getting somebody out there to you." And your next comment was, "I should have known." What are you referencing in that statement?
I don't remember saying that, but I guess, all the threats and, I had been convinced that this was something to do with the boat wreck and, all of that.
Did Paul ever get physical with you? Ever get into a heated argument and get physical?
One time, a little bit where he wouldn't listen to me.
Did you ever get physical with him?
No, sir.
How about Maggie? Did Paul get physical with Maggie?
No.
Sure, she probably wanted to at times.
I'm sure she wanted to with all of us.
Yeah.
And the one time Paul did that, he had had too much to drink. In a very isolated incident.
Where was that? Was that at Moselle or at a stove?
That was at Moselle.
So that was pretty recent?
No, sir. It had been a while.
When you turned Paul over and his cell phone popped out and you picked it up, and your statement was something like, I thought about doing something, but then I put it back down. And that was the interview, our first interview. What were your intentions with the phone?
I don't know. I mean, when I went up to him and the phone came out, I don't remember having intentions of doing anything with the phone.
Going back when y'all ate dinner together after Miss Maggie got home and you and Paul got back from riding around.
Yes, sir.
Can you estimate about how long y'all would have been at the dinner table or ate at the dinner table?
I mean, it wasn't any long drawn out dinner, you know, just.
I mean, just a guess. You said there was conversation at the dinner table, but
15, 20 minutes. However long it takes to. Best guess.
David asked you just earlier about when y'all were riding around the farm, and you said y'all had the pistol in the truck. Y'all had shot a few times, really not target practice, and shot a few times. You said that you had on that day you didn't see any long guns, rifles, or shotguns in the vehicle. Prior to that, how long prior to that do you recall seeing guns or any guns in that vehicle?
I mean, Paul always had guns.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was very unusual for Paul not to have guns.
And when you say gun, did rifles or shotguns or
everything?
Both?
Okay. Yes, sir.
His truck that he normally drove, I believe it was the Platinum, went into the shop that Friday prior to. One thing that I'm trying to understand is your timeline. You said you probably went to the office 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you left early around 5 or 5:30. And there's been some other timelines or times that we've talked about and you can't quite remember what the times are or what time of day it was. When the dispatcher asked you when was the last time you saw Maggie or talked to Maggie, you said an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. To me, that's, you know, a set, without thinking about it, you rattled off that time. We're sitting here trying to figure out a timeline.
Tell me again what I said to the dispatcher.
You said an hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours.
And what time was that?
That was when you were on the phone, and the 911 call was made at 10:06. So given 2 hours back, that would have been 8.
I mean, I think that's probably about, I think that's probably about right.
30.
Going in the door?
Yes, sir. And Randy says when he left about 6 o'clock, you were still there. So the times aren't matching up. And I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get an understanding of why.
I believe I left, so that's not the first time I was at my office that day.
There were several readings, but your card wouldn't work. Somebody actually had to let you in.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've got your card opening a door at the law firm at 5:30. And then Randy saying when he left at 6, you were still there. I'm trying to understand.
You know, I left the office earlier than I normally do.
What's your normal time to leave?
I mean, it's not unusual for me to be there till dark. You know, I try to get home when Maggie's home, before dark.
She don't like staying out there by herself in the dark.
That's right. So, if it was 5:30 or 6, I don't think I was still there at 6 o'clock. Okay. But, if I was, it wasn't long after that.
Okay.
So, I believe that I went straight home. So, my car, have y'all been able to get Chevrolet to download my?
We're still working on that.
Okay.
That's a long process.
Well, I mean, I got home early enough for Paul and I to ride the property for a substantial length of time. More than an hour. I thought probably a couple of hours that we were together, but somewhere.
Did you go down the river?
We rode down all the roads. I believe that we rode all over.
Okay.
We rode all over. Yes, sir.
What other questions do you have there?
I would like to know exactly what happened.
Me too. The best that I've been able to put together.
It looks like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I believe Paul was shot first. For the simple fact of where he was located.
How many times was he shot?
Twice.
I thought he shot Maggie first because I could tell he shot her in the back of the head.
Paul, for the simple fact, he wouldn't have, if he saw his mother getting shot, he wouldn't have run to that feed ring. Unless that's where one of the guns was. But, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there? I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in the cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you know that the guns were in the truck? I mean, could they have been somewhere else?
They could have been somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have his normal truck.
And I understand that Nolan Tootin believes he saw the gun 3 weeks beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to him, but he believes it was not the one that was at the house.
I think it was a Benelli was his shotgun that he always kept, that Paul always kept with him.
Paul primarily kept one of a couple of Benellis,
That was a camo Benelli. Is the last one that Nolan saw.
Okay.
And HDD, some type of 7mm rifle.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that one at home?
Yes, sir. That's what he saw?
That's what he saw.
Because I was told by somebody that Nolan saw a 300.
He told me he had not seen a 300 since March after turkey season. But those were the go-to guns, and those are the last ones that he saw.
The HDD
and Benelli. He had not seen the 300 since March during turkey season.
And he definitely saw it during turkey season?
Yes, sir.
Because there was some point, back when it was missing at Christmas time.
The third one's missing at Christmas time?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all get any kind of forensic of anything that y'all found? Just the rain and the...
Yeah. I mean, we got plenty of DNA from the scene, but
yeah.
It's Nolan's, it's Rogan's, it's Alex, it's Paul's, it's Maggie's, it's Buster's.
Everybody's done.
Yeah.
David, can you tell me for sure? Did either one of them live after they were shot first time?
Not long.
Does that mean?
The shooting happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Is this one person, two persons, three persons?
It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
No, neither one of them suffered very long.
A matter of seconds, if that.
Thank you.
Have y'all been able to get anything in Paul's phone that might lead to anybody with beef?
Like I said, the only DNA we have are family and close friends. We don't have any fingerprints. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any shoe wear or tire wear impressions because it rained that night. The only thing that we can go off of are the cell tower dumps, or I know the FBI was out and they were out on your property on Friday riding around trying to get some cell phone data. Unfortunately, all of that takes time. Still trying to figure this out. I cannot exclude the boat incident and those involved.
While SLED continued investigating the murders of Maggie and Paul, another shocking event thrust Alex Murdaugh back into the national spotlight. On September 4, 2021, he reported that he had been shot in the head while changing a flat tire on a rural road. The incident was initially treated as an attempted murder and received widespread media attention. However, the investigation soon took an unexpected turn. Within days, SLED announced that investigators believed the shooting had been staged. According to authorities, Alex Murdaugh allegedly conspired with Curtis Eddie Smith to arrange the shooting as part of a plan to allow his surviving son, Buster, to collect a $10 million life insurance payout. Both men were charged in connection with the alleged scheme. Alex was accused of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, filing a false police report, and other related offenses. The allegations marked a dramatic turning point in the case, shifting public attention beyond the murders of Maggie and Paul and placing Alex Murdaugh himself at the center of an expanding criminal investigation.
An unfolding murder case in South Carolina, as you know, took a startling turn. We first reported this last night on News 19 at 11. Former lawyer Alex Murdaugh was shot and wounded during a Labor Day weekend incident about 3 months after his wife and son were found murdered at their hunting property.
Still, no one was arrested or has been charged in their murders. And as Nikki Batiste explains, now authorities believe Murdaugh hired a gunman to kill him as part of an insurance fraud scheme.
Police cars lined this street in Hampton County, South Carolina earlier this month. It's where prominent local attorney Alex Murdaugh says he was shot in the head while changing a flat tire. But now law enforcement says there's more to his story. They announced the arrest overnight of 61-year-old Curtis Smith. The charges: assisted suicide, assault and battery, and insurance fraud, among others. Police say more charges are expected. Charging documents allege Murdaugh conspired with Smith to shoot him in the head. If Murdaugh died, his living son would have received an estimated $10 million as part of a life insurance policy. Instead, Murdaugh survived. Alex Murdaugh is also the subject of a separate investigation. This month, he was forced out of his law firm for allegedly misusing company money. He released a statement to apologize and also revealed he'd enter rehab for an apparent opioid addiction. Alex Murdaugh is not charged in his shooting and has not responded to requests for comment about that or the fraud allegations.
More than a year after the murders of Maggie and Paul, the investigation reached its most significant turning point. On July 14, 2022, SLED announced that Alex Murdaugh had been charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Investigators alleged that the evidence gathered over the previous 13 months provided probable cause to believe Alex Murdaugh was responsible for the deaths of his wife and son. He was taken into custody and would later plead not guilty to the charges. Alex Murdaugh pleaded not guilty to the murders of Maggie and Paul. In the months that followed, both the prosecution and the defense prepared for what would become one of the most closely watched murder trials in recent American history. On January 25, 2023, the trial began in Colleton County, South Carolina. Over the next 6 weeks, jurors heard testimony from law enforcement officers, forensic experts, family friends, and Alex Murdaugh himself. Prosecutors presented hundreds of pieces of evidence as they sought to prove that Alex had murdered his wife and son. One of the most significant pieces of evidence came from Paul Murdaugh's cell phone. Investigators recovered a video recorded near the family's dog kennels just minutes before the murders. Footage placed Alex Murdaugh at the kennels, contradicting statements he had previously made to investigators that he had not been there that evening. The courtroom footage you are about to see contains key moments from the trial, including witness testimony, the presentation of evidence, and Alex Murdaugh's own testimony before the jury.
And some very big moments in court today as testimony continued in the murder trial of Alex Murdaugh. Today, cell phones took center stage in the Colleton County courtroom.
Yeah, absolutely. The most pivotal part of testimony today centered around Paul Murdaugh's own cell phone. And what was a major revelation for the prosecution, SLED agent Britt Dove testified that video that was recorded around 8:45 p.m. on Paul's phone near the dog kennel was pivotal to this case. A friend whose dog was staying in that kennel asked Paul for a video of the dog's tail. Prosecutor John Conrad questioned Dove about what he heard in the clip. Agent Dove says you can hear 3 distinct voices. The prosecution says it's Paul, Maggie, and Alec. But remember, Alec told SLED investigators he was taking a nap at the house during that time.
Yes, sir, I did. The video looks like inside maybe a kenneled area with a fence around it and a dog, I believe to be a lab, where he's trying to take a video of the tail of the dog.
Okay. All right. And that's what you see in that video.
Yes, sir.
What do you hear in the video?
You hear 3 different voices in the video. You can tell because they're so different, you can tell that they're different voices.
Okay. Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Bubba. Hey, Bubba. That's a guinea.
You recorded again, Lieutenant Dove?
The camera begins at 8:44:49 p.m.
And ends when?
At 8:45:47 p.m.
I just want everybody to understand, I do not dispute that I stole money that was not my money, that I misled people to do that I misled people that trusted me.
One of the first topics Senior Assistant Deputy Attorney General Creighton Waters raised during his cross-examination of Alex Murdaugh was his explanation for lying to investigators. Alex testified that he had not been truthful about being at the dog kennels because he did not trust SLED. That claim drew particular attention given the Murdaugh family's long history in South Carolina's legal system. For nearly a century, members of the family had held influential positions within the local prosecutor's office and maintained close working relationships with law enforcement throughout the region. Alex Murdaugh himself served as a volunteer assistant solicitor and was known to carry solicitor's badges, including one issued to him and another that had belonged to his grandfather. During the trial, this background became relevant because Alex had previously been questioned about displaying one of those badges when he and his father arrived at the hospital following the 2019 boat crash involving his son, Paul.
I'll show you what's been marked as States 569. And do you recognize the person on the right in that image?
No, sir.
You don't recognize that?
I don't recognize him.
No, I'm asking about that.
Oh, me?
Is that you?
Yeah, it looks like me.
All right. What's hanging out of your pocket in plain view?
Looks like a badge.
You didn't recall that until I just showed you that picture?
No, sir, I did not.
Your Honor, it offers States 569 in the evidence. Okay.
Admit it.
That's you in the white shirt, is that right?
Yes, sir, it is.
And this is the badge hanging out of your pocket. You remember which, is that correct?
Looks to be, yes, sir.
Which badge is that? Which one of the two, do you remember?
Nah, you can't tell from here.
Okay. And why'd you have it hanging out of your pocket like that?
I don't remember having that. No, I don't know.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that, no, sir.
Did you generally walk around with your badge hanging out of your pocket?
Generally speaking, no, sir, I did not.
Or only when you wanted some advantage from it?
Did
you want some advantage from wearing it like that?
Did I hang it out in my pocket when I wanted an advantage?
Yes.
I may have.
Okay.
I certainly may have.
All right. What advantage did you want?
When?
Then?
I don't even recall this, Mr. Waters, but if I was wanting some advantage, as you say it, I guess, and I don't remember this, but I guess I would want, as I said, a badge has a warming effect with other law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And so if I was seeking any advantage, as you say, then I guess that would be what it was.
All right, so we got the badge that may be accidentally hanging out of your pocket. You won't concede that you did that purposefully.
I mean, Mr. Waters, if you want me to say I did that on purpose, I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying I don't remember that. All right? So can I tell you that I did that on purpose? No, sir, I can't. Can I say that this happened by accident? No, sir, I can't. What I can say is I don't remember it, and that's not how I would normally, that's just not how I would normally, that's just not, that's not something I did. That's not a normal thing. So I don't know.
During cross-examination, Creighton Waters questioned Alex Murdaugh about the 2019 boat crash involving his son, Paul. Alex acknowledged he was aware of the criminal investigation and the allegations that he had attempted to influence witnesses and discourage them from speaking with law enforcement. Another key moment came when Alex claimed he wanted to meet with investigators after his arrest to discuss his opioid addiction and the financial crimes. Waters challenged that account, telling the jury there was no evidence that Alex had ever requested such a meeting, suggesting his explanation had changed over time.
And Mr. Waters, just to be clear, I was begging for a meeting with y'all to try to bring this to a close, to talk to y'all about everything up until the time that y'all charged me with hurting Maggie and Paul. Now, after that point in time, I stopped, obviously.
You're claiming that you were begging for a meeting, but you admit information was never conveyed that you wanted to change your story after multiple interviews with law enforcement about what happened that night, including the most important fact of all, which is when the last time you supposedly saw your wife and son alive was.
I don't know exactly what was conveyed or not to you because I wasn't part of it. All I know
Fair
is
enough.
what
You don't
I
know
was
what was
trying to do was to sit down. I understood to bring all this to a close that y'all would want me to sit down and go through all of these financial things, all of these things that I'd done wrong, and to try to bring that to a close. I was repeatedly trying to sit down with y'all.
The reality is, Mr. Murdaugh, is the reason why no one's ever heard that before is because you had to sit in this courtroom and hear your family and your friends, one after the other, come in and testify that you were on that kennel video. So you, like you've done so many times over the course of your life, had to back up and make a new story that kind of fit with the facts that can't be denied. Isn't that true, sir?
No, sir, that's not true.
You've done that over and over again over the years with all of this that we've been talking about, haven't you?
I've done what over and over again?
The second that you're confronted with facts that you can't deny, you immediately come up with a new lie. Isn't that correct?
Mr. Waters, as we've established, I have lied many times, but I can't sit here and tell you that. What are you talking about, facts that I can't deny? That I would disagree with that proposition that you're putting out, that was what I did all the time. But in doing that, I admit again that I've lied to people that trusted me.
So we can agree that the prosecution and law enforcement and so many of your friends and family heard for the first time your story about the kennels yesterday after all these weeks of testimony. Can we agree on that?
That law enforcement, my partners, and my friends heard me say that for the first time. Yes, I agree with that.
One question many people had throughout the trial was simple. Where did all the money go? Alex Murdaugh admitted to stealing between $8 and $10 million from clients and others over many years. During his testimony, he was questioned extensively about his finances, his lifestyle, and whether he considered himself to be living as a wealthy man.
Would you concede with me that not all of this money was going to pills at this point in time?
No.
All this stolen money?
No, I doubt that it was.
Okay. And it was being used to support your wealthy lifestyle?
Well, I haven't looked at all these documents to know exactly what was being spent where, but here's what I do know. I know that I was making a bunch of money, and I should have had more money than I did. And I know that I was spending a bunch of money on pills. And I know that, I don't remember in 2011 if those I just can't remember those land deals. But, if I spent money on other things, I don't dispute that either. I just haven't looked at the records.
Okay. But you would at least concede that the money you were stealing was going to support your ever-expanding wealthy lifestyle. Would you concede that?
Did all of the money I stole?
Any of it, Mr. Murdaugh?
Any of it? Yeah, I would certainly agree that there was money that didn't go to buy just pills.
All right. And you would concede that even though you were generating millions of dollars in fees, that was not enough for you. Would you concede that?
If by concede that, you mean was I also stealing money that I shouldn't have? Yes, sir, I agree with that. I've said that repeatedly.
We know that Alex Murdaugh admitted to stealing millions of dollars from numerous clients. One of those victims was a teenager who had lost her mother. During cross-examination, Creighton Waters questioned Alex about taking money that was intended to help support her future.
Let's talk about, let's start with Natasha Thomas. Do you remember her?
I do.
How old was she when she became your client?
I'm not sure. She was young.
She was a teenager?
I'm not sure, but I know she was young.
She was underage, correct?
Yes, she was underage. I do believe that.
All right.
In fact, I know that.
And can you tell me what the She was injured in this wreck with in an automobile wreck, correct?
Yes.
And the company Michelin, that was one of the defendants for an alleged tire issue, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And do you remember how much Natasha Thomas got in that particular case? And I can show it to you on 334. You remember how much she got?
As a gross settlement, I believe it shows
Yeah.
$2 million.
$2 million. All right. And how much were your or PMPD's fees that would be attributed to you in that out of that $2 million?
$800,000.
$800,000.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. All right. And so that would be $800,000 in fees that would get attributed to you. That has nothing to do with the money that you subsequently stole from that teenager. Correct?
The $800,000 is different from money that I stole?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. So you got $800,000 attributed to you with the firm, but that was not enough. You also stole money from that teenager. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. When you did that, did you sit down with her, much as you sat down with this jury, and explain to her what was going on while you were stealing her money?
That would be the normal process, but I certainly don't remember specifically doing that.
That would be the normal process, correct?
That would be. It may be a little different with a teenager, but certainly, I mean...
You would sit down with them across the table and go through these documents, correct?
If that would not be abnormal, yes, sir.
All right. And then you would explain to them what was going on and how they were getting everything they were entitled to, correct?
If I was the one doing it, yes, sir.
And you would look them in the eye while you did that, correct?
It wouldn't be unusual for me to look them in the eye.
While you were doing some fast talking to a teenager, correct?
I certainly was not telling her the truth. I don't know if I was talking fast or slow, but I wasn't telling the truth.
Creighton Waters also questioned Alex Murdaugh about the weekend before the murders. Alex and Maggie had traveled to Columbia for a baseball game, but much of Alex's time was spent alone in the hotel. Waters suggested Alex appeared agitated during the trip, implying his behavior reflected the mounting pressure he was under at the time.
All right. Tell the jury, where were you when these texts were taking place?
I was in a hotel.
And what city were you in?
Columbia, South Carolina.
All right. And where were they?
I'm not exactly sure where they were when they first started, but they would have been somewhere between a hotel, a restaurant, and the ball field.
All right. But when you send this text on June 6th at 11:41, you say y'all in seat already, correct?
Yes, that's what I did say.
All right. And they say, yeah, Maggie says, yes, we like these seats. Is that correct?
All right, that's correct. I didn't notice that. So at that point in time, they are in the ballpark.
All right. And then you respond, better than last night. They extended checkout to 1. Going to come then. Is that correct?
That's what that text says. Yes, sir.
All right. So you're back at the room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Later on, you text after she asked you to bring a charger and says, Muggy, you text, I'm dreading it. See you in a little bit. Is that correct?
That's what I said. Yes, sir.
She responds, don't come, but then asks about the charger and says it's hot. Is that correct?
Mr. Waters, yes, I assume you were reading it exactly so. Yes, sir.
All right. She eventually responds, not crowded, but not the place to come if you don't feel well. Very hot and muggy. We are inside, sitting at the bar, very nice indoors. Is that correct?
That's what it says. Yes, sir.
And then you respond, Dowdy, by accident, they are making me leave, so I'll see y'all in a few. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And who was making you leave where?
It was past checkout time at the hotel.
After you'd gotten an extended checkout, correct?
It appears so.
reality is that you were in that hotel suffering from withdrawals when that's going on. Is that correct?
I was beginning to, yes, sir.
And the reality is that your wife and your son were on you at that time period because they had found pills just a few weeks prior.
No, sir, that's not correct.
Creighton Waters then moved to the events leading up to the crucial kennel video recorded at 8:44 p.m. on the night of the murders. Alex testified that he had eaten dinner with Maggie and Paul before they went down to the kennels while he remained at the house.
And what did you do after that?
I came back out, sat out on the couch to eat dinner.
All right. What time was that?
A few minutes later. I mean, it didn't take me long to shower.
And you say Paul was already eating at that point?
He was.
You say he left first.
What I said is he got up and he finished eating, and he left our immediate vicinity. Now, I don't believe he left at that point, given what I've looked at, time records and all. I believe that he was around the house for a little bit longer.
And just to be clear, again,
but I didn't see him.
All of this detail was people were hearing for the first time yesterday, like we talked about before, correct?
Say that again?
All of this detail that we're going through right now is not anything that you related before. We're all hearing this for the first time yesterday.
Objection, Your Honor. Fifth Amendment privilege.
Objection is overruled.
So, yes, I did not tell law enforcement. Actually, I don't think law enforcement asked me what I did when we first went to the house, but I clearly lied to law enforcement about what I said yesterday.
Okay. And all of this, the last time you supposedly saw your wife and child, all of this detail, you as a lawyer and a prosecutor didn't think that was important to offer on your own?
Oh, I think it's important.
You told this jury how cooperative you've been and how much information you wanted to provide, but you left out the most important parts, didn't you?
I left out that. I sure did.
You don't consider that one of the most important parts?
I think it's important.
Since the night of the murders, Alex Murdaugh had consistently maintained that he was never at the kennels shortly before Maggie and Paul were killed. However, during his testimony, he admitted that he had lied to investigators after his voice was identified on a video recorded by Paul at 8:44 p.m. We can all hear Alex speaking in the background. Investigators did not recover the kennel video until March 2022, nearly 9 months after the murders. On the witness stand, Alex testified that after taking a chicken out of Bubba's mouth, he returned directly to the house. Prosecutors argued that Maggie and Paul were murdered just minutes later.
Down there for a couple minutes, I think you've said now, before you get off the golf cart?
Yes, sir.
All right. And where do you go at that point?
I take the chicken from Bubba.
All right. So you get up?
Well, I mean, Bubba's come out there with this chicken. I mean, he's showing us, hey, I caught this chicken. And I take the chicken from Bubba.
Bubba came up to the golf cart?
He came up by the golf cart. He came up to Maggie and I, which I was on the golf cart. She's by the golf cart. I mean, he's not coming to the golf cart, but he's coming to us.
Is this during the kennel video or is this after the kennel video?
Well, no, you hear Maggie say he's got a chicken.
Okay.
That's what she's talking about is Bubba caught a chicken.
All right. All right. So is the kennel video still going on before you go get the chicken? I mean, you've heard it, correct? You've heard it in this courtroom.
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly, but in close timing to Bubba coming out of those woods with the chicken, I got up and took the chicken from him.
So did you say goodbye, according to your new story?
Did I say goodbye?
Yeah. Did you talk to them at all, or did you just get the chicken, put it on there, jump on there, and just take off?
I wouldn't have just gone off. I mean, I would have said, I'm leaving.
Okay.
Did I say goodbye or bye?
And again, go ahead.
I mean, there would have been some, there would have been some exchange. I'm not staying here.
Well, what was that exchange? I mean, you've had such a photographic memory about these news stories. What happened here?
That's not. I can't tell you the exact words.
You don't remember your conversation after you put that chicken up? Did y'all talk about the chicken?
No, I don't think we did.
Did you talk with Paul about Cash's tail?
After the chicken?
Yeah.
No, I know I didn't do that.
Did you tell Maggie I'm going to go check on him?
At that point, no, I don't
Did you
think
tell
I did.
Maggie, it's hide out here, think I'll go back?
I certainly would have said something to that effect.
All right. So, unlike everything else with the news story, you just can't recall what that would have been.
Well, I mean, you're making that categorization. I think there's other things about that I can't remember. But if the question is, can I remember exactly what words I used when I gave Maggie some salutation when I'm leaving, I can't tell you what those were.
All right.
But it would have been something to the effect of, I'm leaving.
All right. Okay. But you would concede that there was at least some conversation, that you wouldn't have just put the chicken on there and ran back to the golf cart and taken off. Correct?
Without talking to Maggie, I would have never done that.
After several days of testimony, extensive cross-examination, and closing arguments from both sides, the case was finally handed to the jury. After deliberating for less than 3 hours, the jury returned with its verdict. Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, as well as 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime.
Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, sir, we have.
Is it unanimous?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, if you will pass it up to the clerk, who will pass it to me. The defendant will rise.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, guilty, verdict. Signed by the forelady, 3-2-23. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, verdict, guilty. Signed by the forelady, date 3-2-23. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Verdict, guilty. Signed by the foreperson of the jury, date 3-2-23.
Madam Forelady and members of the jury, if that is the verdict of each and every juror, please let it be known by raising your right hands. All right, thank you. Mr. Murdaugh, you now having been found guilty of 2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. All right, Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments. In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably loved so much, I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutive. Under the statute involving possession of a weapon during a violent crime, there is no sentence where a life sentence is imposed on other indictments. That is the sentence of the court, and you are remanded to the State Department of Corrections.
Although Alex Murdaugh was convicted and sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms for the murders of Maggie and Paul, the legal battle was far from over. His defense team filed an appeal, arguing that he had not received a fair trial. The appeal centered on allegations that Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill had improperly influenced members of the jury during the trial. The defense argued that her actions deprived Alex Murdaugh of a fair and impartial trial. The South Carolina Supreme Court ultimately agreed that a new trial was necessary, overturning Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions and sending the case back to the courts. As preparations for a new trial began, another development emerged. The defense revealed that unidentified male DNA had reportedly been found beneath Maggie Murdaugh's fingernails. They argue the evidence should undergo additional forensic testing and could support an alternative theory of the murders. Prosecutors dispute the significance of the DNA, and its role in the retrial has yet to be determined. Although his murder convictions have been overturned, Alex Murdaugh remains in prison. He is serving separate sentences after pleading guilty to numerous financial crimes, including stealing millions of dollars from clients over many years. More than 5 years after the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, this case continues to evolve. What began with a frantic 911 call has become one of the most closely followed criminal cases in modern American history. And with a new trial on the horizon, the final chapter has yet to be written. If you'd like to see more full-length true crime documentaries and deep case breakdowns like this one, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.